Protests against corruption and unemployment, revolts, strikes, the government hunting down those who protest against it. The story of the Arab Spring is well known. But will history repeat itself? Have a look at what's happening on the streets of South Africa. There is a fear of mass protests. The country is bracing for a national shutdown. Protesters are ready to fight against the establishment. And it's not just South Africa. There are protests across Africa. What is leading to this unrest? Where are things headed? Our next report takes a closer look.
The South African government is tiptoeing right now. The country's third largest party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, has surged the citizens to take to the streets. It is demanding Cyril Ramaphosa's resignation over his handling of the economic situation. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has reacted to this and deployed soldiers in several cities, expecting to contain the protests. Private security companies have also been employed to help the police. But what is causing these protests? South Africa's economic growth has been continuously tumbling. The economy fell below pre-pandemic levels by the later half of 2022. Citizens are battered by high unemployment, soaring inflation, and waves of blackouts. Energy providers are also facing breakdowns and capacity shortfalls. Demonstrators have been walking on the streets with signs such as "Down with the load shedding" and "We are tired of blackouts." The EFF party has urged protesters to behave peacefully and watch out for provocators who might attempt to hijack the nationwide strikes. But what is Ramaphosa's stand amid the chaos? The South African president says that the Economic Freedom Fighters party is pulling this stunt just to gain prominence ahead of the national elections next year. Ramaphosa's government says that people shouldn't believe in the so-called national shutdown. It went on to say that businesses will be functional and no acts of criminality will be allowed. This shows the government's confidence in stopping the people from raging on the streets. Other parts of Africa are also witnessing protests. The streets of Kenya are filled with demonstrators as businesses shut down in the capital city of Nairobi. The country has been hit really hard after it lost close to $2 billion due to the unrest. In Nigeria, opposition politicians have called for protests over the alleged rigging of the presidential elections. The demonstrations over alleged electoral fraud, they are being led by the main opposition, the People's Democratic Party. Tunisia is also witnessing unrest. Protesters are pressuring the government over the alleged authoritarian rule by the president. The capital is witnessing multiple rallies by thousands of opposition supporters. Senegal is also fighting its way through adversity. Supporters of the opposition leader Ousmane Sonko are marching in the capital Dakar in support of presidential candidate who is currently facing a libel case. Will the nation's leaders arrive at a solution as people voice their anger towards them, or will people continue to protest and hope change in these crisis-ridden countries?
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.